Always some it's been so long in between stuff that I keep forgetting. And actually I screwed up something else. So bear with me 1 second. What kind of production are we running here? It's been so long. How are you guys doing? I know we did a live last Tuesday. But it's been a long time since I've done a solo live. I feel like I'm kind of all over the place. Apparently still recovering from the draft because I feel like my brain's still very, very foggy. So, how's the week looking for you guys? I see a couple people in the comments already. Looks like we got the Tullies checking in. Good to see you guys. Frankie, who's dead to me, up in the UP. Frankie, I'm surprised you got internet up there. I thought they just invented. Didn't you guys just get rid of horse and buggies, or are you guys still using horse and buggies? And then we got Sway Coda. Good to see you, man. Um, yeah, I'm sure people are going to kind of keep trickling in. I joined. I started my live a little bit later tonight. I'm kind of running behind. We were out to dinner. We went and actually got my son a haircut, and then we went to dinner. So kind of running behind on the day. We got Kirby checking in. Good to see you, Kirby. Kirby, you missed last week's live show. It wasn't the same without you, man. Uh, definitely was not the same. My dad's checking in. Good to see you, Dad. Appreciate you watching. I'd assume that means my stepmom's always also watching. So good to see you both. Um, Still have those. Yep. Still got the horse and buggies. No internet going off LTE. I don't know what the hell LTE is, but is that like cell phone data? Is that what you're trying to tell me? Man, what a wild weekend. I got to spend a lot of time with Tully, which was cool. And then Sway Coda stayed at my house. And I'm sure if Tony catches this, I'm sure Tony will join in. But we got to hang out with Tony too on Friday and some of Saturday, which was really awesome. So it felt really cool. Like everyone were hanging out, and it was like when we met Tony, we're like, "Oh, Tony, this is Tully." And he's like, "Oh, Tully," and then we're like, "Oh, this is Sway Coda." And Kirby, you'll love this because Tony thought Sway Coda was you. He's like, "Oh, is this Kirby?" So it wasn't the same without you, Kirby. My wife loves when you hype me up. I get hyped on Kirby. I was telling Dakota when he was over at my house this past week because he stayed at my house for a few nights. I was like, man, I'm happy you told Kirby about the show. I'm happy you told Kirby about my page. I was like, I'm a big Kirby fan, so always hyped when Kirby's in here. But yeah, I feel like I'm still recovering from the draft. It was a very, 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 very busy week. There's Terry. Hello. Good to see you. Can't wait to see you guys here in a few weeks. I think it's a few weeks. I don't know, something like that. I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, it was a whirlwind of a week. So Corey, as you guys know from following the page, Corey was at my house from Sunday until Sunday. So he got in Sunday evening on Easter, and then he hung out with us for the whole week. It was a ton of fun. I mean, really, you're always a little hesitant about like people coming over. It was the first time I met Corey actually, so you're kind of always a little hesitant about having someone come over that you've never met in person. You don't know that dynamic, but it worked out really well. It was a lot of fun, and uh, I basically made it my mission to try to take Corey to all these like fun Wisconsin places. Or some of my fun favorite places. So the what was kind of surprising to us, and I know from other people we talked to, is pretty surprising. So Corey came in on Sunday, like I said. The Packers Pro Shop and Atrium and everything was closed Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So Corey couldn't do a tour. He couldn't go to the Hall of Fame. We couldn't even go to the Atrium. We couldn't go to the Pro Shop. So we decided to go to the Barton Cherry Star Museum on Tuesday, which was a ton of fun. It's my second time going there. I absolutely love that place. They did such a good job there. It's about an hour away from Green Bay. So if you're in the area and you're like, hey, I'm okay driving another hour to the middle of nowhere to look at this museum, I think it's worth it. Corey had a great time. And then yeah, Corey did a ton of shopping. He was shopping and spending it like it don't mean nothing. Shout out to Corey. He got us $50 in Kohl's cash because he bought so much stuff at Kohl's. So we have that to spend. But yeah, then we went and tried all these different restaurants. I was obviously posting as the week went on. I think we went to Culver's and we tried. He's never been to Quick Trip, so we tried Quick Trip. We went to Legend Larry's and Pancake Place and Loco Wisco, which is a shop in town here. I don't know. We just went all over the place. I felt like we're just kind of checking stuff off. We went to Straight Cheese. And even with all of our stuff that we did, I felt like we missed so much. I really wanted to take them to Uncle Mike's Kringle. We were able to get a sample while we're down at the draft, so that worked out. But it definitely wasn't the same as getting your own like full-size Kringle and doing that. I also wanted to take them to Surge's, but time didn't permit there. Just checking in some of the comments here. Josh, good to see you as always. Hope the family's doing well. Yeah, walking 35 and a half miles broke me, man. I felt every day I felt so rough. My legs are finally starting to kind of get back to normal. I walk a fair bit while I'm working as well. But yeah, those 35, it wasn't even the walking. I felt like wasn't the bad part. It was just how often you were just standing for hours. It was really bad. And I saw Ron down there. Ron, good to see you. Good to see you again. It was good to bump into you at the draft. Girl math. Zesties. Yes, we went to Zesties as well. We went to Culver's first and then Zesties. What did we do? Zesties Friday, I think. I'm pretty sure we did Zesties Friday. Yeah, it was on Friday. So that was really good. But yeah, we're going to talk all about my 3 days there. Alfonso, good to see you in Houston. Appreciate you checking in. Kirby, I see your thing about best draft moment. We're going to talk about it all, man. I got time to kill. I'm going to just be hanging out. I'm going to be talking about the draft and my experience. So Thursday, we go down there early. Stadium View had reached out to me a couple weeks ago and they said, hey, we're doing this pulled pork contest. We'd absolutely love it if you join us. Immediately I was like, no chance in hell am I doing that. I do not do food competitions. I'm weird about food as it is. I'm a picky eater. I like pulled pork, but I don't like eating in front of people like that. I don't mind like eating when I'm out with like friends or family, but I don't want to like be stuffing my face, right? I'm not Joey Chestnut. And I also didn't want them to be extremely disappointed if I didn't like take it crazy serious. So immediately I was like, nope, I'm not doing this. But I didn't respond. I let it kind of marinate for a little bit. And then I was like, well, let me get some more information. So I asked for a bit more information, like when the event was. And then I was like, hey, just full disclosure, I am not competitive. I am not going to like embarrass myself up there. I'm not going to, I'm not going to kill myself for a food contest. And they were like, yeah, that's cool. We just basically want you to come hang out, maybe give someone in the crowd, someone they recognize or whatever. And I was like, cool, sounds good. I guess I'll do it. Well, when I originally asked about it, I was like, is it sandwiches? Is it just pulled pork? What's the situation here? And they said it's just pulled pork. So then I'm thinking like, oh, I hope I get are you going to provide forks or what? So I ask, I'm just like, okay, cool. I'll do it. Didn't want to, but I was like, I'll do it. It's kind of one of those opportunities that I'd never get again. So it's a cool experience and a cool opportunity. And so I go over there. We sign our waivers basically saying that if I like choke to death, I'm not going to sue Pit Boss or something like that, which yeah, I thought it was kind of funny. We had to sign the waiver like an hour before the eating competition. And on the waiver, it was like that something about how I've had a chance for my legal representation to read over it. And I'm like, you could have sent this to me. I could have docu-signed this or something a week or two ago, but I obviously don't have a chance to have my legal representative read it when it's an hour before the competition. I thought about running it over to the Nicolay Law booth, but I begrudgingly signed it. Anyway, so I'm going through my head. I'm talking to some of the other people. One of the other contestants makes a lot of content on TikTok. She has a huge following there on Instagram. She was super cool. And I was like, any idea what's the deal here? What are we doing? Like, do we get forks? Do we get water? What's going on? She's like, no, I have no idea either. And as we're walking onto stage, they're like, does everyone know the rules? And all of us are like, no, none of us know the rules. And they go, you can't use your hands. You can only use your mouth to eat the pulled pork. So her and I are both like, oh my gosh, what are we doing here? What did we sign up for? And we go up on stage and they're like, we're going to give you each 4 pounds of meat. You're going to have 3 minutes to eat it with only your mouth. You can't use your hands on anything other than sauce and water. And in my head, I'm like, the math is just not math in here. 4 pounds of meat with only my mouth in 3 minutes. Like, there's no chance we're going to get close to that. I had my head down the entire time, but Chad was watching. Dakota was watching. There are some very intoxicated people. And the one kid, I guess at one point in time, is eating pulled pork and he pulls his head up, hypes the crowd up, takes his bottle of sauce and like squirts it in his mouth, and just like sauce is flowing from his mouth. Yeah, I anticipated nothing. I was like, I am not going to do well here. This is not going to go well. But they said I took third place. I don't necessarily know that I believe it. I feel like I think the guy's next to me, he's from the radio show. I think his name's Fuzzy or Huggy or something like that. He was going pretty crazy. The guys on the end were going crazy. The one dude that squirted a bunch of sauce in his mouth, he also added a ton to his pulled pork. So I think he did himself a disservice by adding a bunch of weight. But they said I took third place, which surprised the hell out of me. But it made it even cooler, like that I got third place out of 6 people, considering I felt like I really didn't go that crazy. I was just kind of taking my time with it, but it probably helped that I wasn't doing shots of barbecue sauce in the middle of it. But yeah, it was a super unique opportunity and one that I don't think I'll ever do again. I was a little peeved though, because I saw the next night they allowed the contestants to use their hands. I'm guessing after they saw how much like pulled pork we couldn't get through, just simply from a logistics standpoint, that they're like, yeah, this isn't good. I ate 1 pound in 3 minutes. That's what they said. I still don't believe that, but I ate 1 pound in 3 minutes and I took third place. I'm guessing between the 6 of us, we had 24 pounds of meat. I'm guessing maybe we ate 6 pounds, maybe 7 pounds. So we wasted 17 pounds of meat. I did ask the chef, asked if I could take my leftovers with me. And he's like, "Are you serious?" And I was like, "Yeah, they're good. I got a whole squad with me. We're gonna walk over." And then he was like, "Yeah, I don't care." But then, like, literally a minute later, another employee just came and grabbed my tray and threw it away. So I was pretty bummed. I wanted to take it with me. I wasn't even full. I didn't eat all day in anticipation of it. I was like, I'm gonna go into this hungry. So I didn't eat all day in anticipation of it. So I would have liked to have that as a snack on my way over to the concourse. But and the way they had it laid out, for those of you that weren't there, was kind of odd. So if you've been to Lambeau Field, you kind of know the layout. They had all the entrances up by like Kroll's and Titletown, and then nothing down by Stadium View. So we were down by Stadium View. It got over at like 5:15, the contest. The draft started at 7. And then we had to walk all the way over in this like path that they determined, not like a direct path, but it was like we had to kind of go through some side lots and stuff like that. And so we had to wrap all the way around. Thankfully, we were able to get in, like 20 minutes, half hour before everything got shut down. But it was, I had no idea that you could hit a max capacity or anything like that. I don't know that they necessarily knew that, because out of the blue it said that. So yeah, it was an interesting experience. There's a lot of people. I posted a selfie of it. I think I got it. I could probably pull it up here if you guys didn't see the selfie. There was a lot of people on at the eating contest. That was pretty wild. Let's see here. All right, share this screen so you guys can see this. So here's the selfie. You can kind of see how many people there are there. I don't know if I can make this bigger or not, but no, I don't think I can. But yeah, there's a lot of people at the pulled pork contest, so that was quite the experience. But day one was great. I know on TV the crowds look gnarly, like the crowd looked crazy. We watched it kind of from the back of the crowd, so we actually had a pretty nice amount of space where I didn't feel like too many people were right on us. But it was a nutso day. It was a lot of fun. I felt like the vibes were incredible. The whole weekend we were there, the vibes were incredible. There's a lot of like drunk, stupid kids, like 21-year-olds, kind of maybe having their first alcoholic beverage or something. You saw a lot of like interesting individuals in that regard, but for the most part, it was good vibes. It was a little weird as well. Not something I'm used to. I know it happens during Packers games, but I guess I just don't pay attention as much. But at the draft, on the hotels and on Lambeau Field and some other places, they had snipers set up, so you just saw gun stands with guys behind it, like manning a sniper, which was a little interesting. You're kind of like, wow, this is a serious thing. But I will say, one thing I was super kind of irritated about. I don't know, maybe I shouldn't be irritated about it. There's probably a rhyme or reason. But they put this huge emphasis on download this app, download the NFL One Pass, sign up, register, do this, do this, do this. Not a single One Pass was scanned all 3 days. No one cared. They checked you as like a regular Packers game. Security wasn't amped up. It was actually probably easier and quicker to get in than a regular Packers game. And I didn't have to scan my app one time. Maybe they have other technology they use that they can kind of read who's in the area or what. But I thought that was kind of irritating because I know a lot of people were stressing about getting this One Pass sign up, and for them to not use it at all was really odd. It was definitely odd for sure. But yeah, it's cool to see some of the other guys come out. We saw, Kirby said Clay Matthews opener. Yeah, the Bears still suck line was fantastic. And what was really awesome is night one when Mark Murphy came out and he did a spiel and he did a speech, and he's like, for the first time since 2002, and you heard a subset of the audience start cheering because they knew the Packers were drafting a receiver just from that stat that's been thrown around forever. So they kind of cheered first, and then he said the Packers are, we're drafting a receiver kind of thing, and then the rest of the crowd amped up. So there's a lot of atmosphere with it. And then as soon as the Packers drafted, everyone left, and you could just go like super close to the stage if you wanted to. But yeah, it was awesome. Like Chad said, I think we're walking 10 miles a day every single day. Day two kind of sucked a little bit because we got there early and it rained heavy. If you could see, I was in my winter coat and I had a beanie on, and it was cold. My feet were freezing the whole time because they were soaked. Should have wore boots. It was a mess, but vibes were good. Day two was actually like the good day if you're going to go and do anything, because everything was quieter because people didn't want to be out in the weather. So we did most of our stuff on day two. And then day three was beautiful. I mean, beautiful weather. We were able to take my wife and my son came out with us. So we hung out there all day on Saturday, which was so awesome. I got a chance to go over to the Nicolay Law booth on Saturday because where it was located was kind of hard to get to unless you planned to go to it. So we went to Stadium View. We ate at some of the food trucks there. Shout out to Rustique. Got 2 orders of pesto fries. Worth it. And we were like, hey, let's go to Nicolay Law. I want to see if Russell's there. I want to introduce myself. I haven't met him before, and I want to just go over. I saw they posted that they are making their own waters, like with proceeds going to charity, which is super cool. And I saw that they had some there that they were giving away. So we walk over to the Nicolay Law thing. This is probably, Kirby asked my favorite story of the week, and this is probably it right here. So we're walking over to the Nicolay Law. We're a bit away yet. Probably, we're a good distance away. I don't know how many feet or whatever, but we're a good enough distance away that I was like, okay, I see the tent and I see Russell, and I go, I think that's Matt Ramage next to him. I'm almost positive that's Matt next to him. Matt and I are good friends. We text all the time. We talk a lot about content, about social media, about life. I've known him for a very long time. So I see Matt, and I get my phone out, and I take off sprinting. And I have my beanie on. I have my sunglasses on. I take off sprinting. He's talking to Russell. He's trying to, keep focus with Russell. But I take off sprinting. I run up on him fast. And I'm like, oh my God. I like throw my arm around him. Oh my God. Matt Ramage. Can I take a picture with you? I scared the hell out of Matt. Matt had no idea who I was because he just didn't look at me. He was looking at Russell. And he didn't recognize me at first because I had a beanie and sunglasses on. And I scared the hell out. If you ever seen the clip of Leonardo DiCaprio running up on, I don't know, I'm spacing on his name. The dude from, he was in Wolf of Wall Street. Why am I spacing on his name? Superbad. Whatever. There's a clip of him running up on another actor who I don't know why I'm spacing on his name. Someone's going to tell me. It was very similar. Like in that video, Leo runs up on him and scares the hell out of him, thinking he's paparazzi. Jonah Hill. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it. Jonah Hill. I was watching the chat waiting for it. But yeah, if you've seen that video, that's very much what it was like. Matt, I startled the hell out of Matt. And then they all thought it was funny after the fact. But so that was my favorite story of the weekend, just because it was just such a good bit, and I was pretty proud of it. I wish I would have recorded myself while I was doing it so I could post that video. I saw, let's see, Kirby asked, could you watch the draft in Lambeau? Yeah, man, it was pretty cool. They actually had Lambeau Field open. You couldn't get through the whole thing. They had it like kind of roped off in certain sections, but you could watch it. I think opening night, it was mostly open because they had it about half full of people watching the draft because that was their overflow. But then on day 2 and 3, they had it open. All the concourses were open, so you could use the bathrooms in there. And then they actually had a scan thing where you could scan to try to kick a field goal on Lambeau Field. I know Tully tried getting on that, and I don't think he ever heard anything back. But Corey, who was here from Australia, he got a chance to do it. I forgot to ask him how it went. We got distracted with some other stuff, so I'm curious on how it went for him and Peter. I'll have to reach out to him. But all in all, honestly, it was a super fun experience. It was 1,000 times better than I thought it was going to be. When I heard the sheer number of people, I was like, oh my God, this is going to be the worst. I don't like crowds as it is, and this is going to be extra bad. We're not even going to be able to see the draft. It's going to be too nuts. I was like, this area they're having it's not going to be big enough. I was anticipating like needing all of Lombardi. I don't know. I was expecting it to be nuts. I think I originally thought it was going to be like more when it said Detroit had 650,000. For whatever reason, I mentally thought that was like day 1 that they had 650,000. So I was thinking that it was going to be like the total amount on just one day. I didn't look into it enough, obviously. So it was really cool. It was I was super, like, I don't know, it was super humbled. I had a handful of people stop, talk with me, introduce themselves to me, compliment me, ask to get pictures, which was really cool. I'm still very awkward about that. Like, if you ever meet me and you talk to me, I'm probably going to be awkward. It's just kind of an awkward thing, and I'm trying to get better at it. But thankfully, I'm generic looking enough that I don't think it's like, it's not like over the top or anything where people stop me a ton, and it's like I don't deal with a lot of crazy stuff. I also forgot, I gotta post this. Here's that giveaway link while I'm thinking about it. I'll be drawing that giveaway here. I don't know, probably 15 minutes or so. So make sure you enter there if you haven't done this before. Enter in on that giveaway, and then we'll be drawing a winner. I'm going to try to get that out early this week yet because I have to mail out some other stuff. So hopefully I can get that out by midweek or so. But yeah, man, it was awesome. It was a really cool representation of a lot of fans. I felt like there was a lot of fun razzing happening, but it wasn't like over the top. I didn't feel like anyone was like really crossing the line. We had some really dumb drunk people, but all in all, it was a really good time. And I was pleasantly surprised. Now I will say, if you've never been to the NFL draft, one thing for me is I thought it was a lot more boring than I thought it was going to be. At home, when you watch the draft, they make their pick and then they have analysts talking, they show clips, they show a lot of other stuff. You don't really get that when you're at the draft. They make their pick, they might show the reaction, they show them walking out if they're there, and then they played music or whatever, and you're kind of just sitting there and you're like, okay, well, I don't know what the board looks like. You're trying to kind of keep up mentally, but you're not really as well. You're like, I don't know what the board looks like. I don't know that player, that position. I don't know, how good. I don't follow college football a ton, so that was probably the downside. Is it was a little bit. There's like a lot of lull periods in between draft picks, and there'd be time where draft picks would pile up, and you're just like, man, we could get this over pretty quickly if they would actually like announce the picks as they're coming in. But yeah, that's something I didn't think about because I'd never been to the draft before. But it was all in all, it was such a cool time. Was anyone else in there? I know I saw Joe there, Tully was with us, Dakota was with us. Curious if anyone else. I think let's see here. Janelle, I think you were there if I'm not mistaken. So it was a lot of fun. Matt should have seen you coming from all angles. That's what I'm saying, man. I thought he always had eyes on everything. Clearly not. It seems like it would. I still can't read Kirby. It seems like it would feel like New Year's Eve in New York City. A lot of waiting around for one big moment. Honestly, that's kind of what it felt like. I was very happy that we were there with a good group of people that I enjoy talking with, because they'd make their pick and then you're like, okay, well, we're going to just chat for the next 10 minutes and sit here and kind of awkwardly stretch out because our thighs are getting sore and our calves are getting sore. But yeah, it's kind of like that, but I guess that's kind of what you signed up for. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Janelle said, yep, she was there with Teresa. But how did you guys feel about the draft? If you were there, if you weren't there, how did you guys feel about the whole process? I still haven't really looked at all the draft picks we signed, or all the players we drafted, I should say. So I'm still kind of out of the loop. But it was super cool. Crystal, good to see you. Thank you for all those memories for Corey. Honestly, no need to thank me at all. That was such a fun time. Thank you for watching the girls and allowing Corey to come. It was a lot of fun. Corey, good to see you, man. Mr. Hollywood himself. Corey was rocking his Australia flag, and Corey was getting interview after interview after interview. I saw the one pop up on TikTok that you did, Corey, and it was, I don't know, it's blowing up on TikTok. So you're pretty famous right now, Corey. I'm honored to have had you sleeping in my guest room. My son was all about Corey. He was a big fan of Corey. Tiffany, it was so great to see you guys as well. I honestly, that was the greatest part about the draft. Back in the day, I used to go to training camp a lot, and we had a really good group of people that we went to training camp with that it felt like a family reunion every time we went. And it felt like that for the draft. We had the Tullys there, which they're an amazing family. Their kids are so awesome. We had some other friends that were there. Dakota, obviously, Corey was with us. Um, we just had we had a really nice group of people, and it was just so fun. My friend Tom came up, so it was just fun, to hang out and talk. And then on Friday, Tony was with us, which was super cool. Tony gave me this like commemorative coin from the city of Green Bay that he picked up for me, which was super generous of him. And it was just a lot of fun, and it kind of, Dakota and I were talking about it after the fact. It kind of felt like those training camp days of, you get together and you just see these people that you care about so much, and you just get to hang out with them and just kind of exist with them. And it's a good feeling, and that kind of bond that's shared over the Packers, and then it kind of grows beyond that, which is really fun. Dakota says, I do still think it's surreal that we got to experience that. It was such a good experience and a great group of people to enjoy it with. I do think, if I'm honest, I would probably go again. Yeah, I'm with you, man. It was a very surreal experience. I know in that at the time I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I'd go all 3 days again. But now that it's been a few days, I almost wonder if it were to come back to Green Bay, I'm sure I'd probably be down there all 3 days again. It was such a good experience. So there's just good vibes, and I really liked how everything was handled. There was a little bit of dysfunctionalness. I felt like it was a lot of excuse me. I felt like it was a lot of like, I had no idea what was going on. I'm sure the resources were there with the information, but I just wasn't paying attention, if we're being honest. Um, but yeah, man, it was such a cool time. One of my best memories was Goodwill talking football with half a dozen guys. That's not weird, right? No, not at all. In Green Bay, it's especially not weird. I feel like everyone's kind of doing. I feel like everyone in Green Bay kind of does that. Ron says, I enjoyed seeing the outfits of the other teams fans wore. I'm with you, Ron. So Dalton, who runs the Northern Nerd, which if you guys don't follow him on Facebook or Instagram or wherever you're watching, Dalton's a super cool dude, really good person to follow, and he was hanging out with us as well. And his game he was playing is, he was trying to find the most obscure jerseys he could. I think we saw a Klein Saucer Vikings jersey. We saw Vonnie Holiday Packers jersey. We saw an OG Tony Mandrich, an OG Paul Kaufman, which was really cool. We were just trying to find and spot some really obscure ones that was really fun. Big B is too Hollywood for Hollywood. Big B is definitely Hollywood. He messaged me like last minute. He's like, hey man, random question. I'm gonna be in town these days, but I have nowhere to crash. Can I crash at your house? So yeah, Big B ended up coming with us for a couple days, which was super fun. Dude, yeah, Kirby. I'm coming to your house next time, and I'm staying on your couch. So the sleeping arrangements, God bless my wife. She is a saint. One night we had Wade and his girlfriend. We had Corey. We had Dakota. We had Tom. Am I missing anyone? I think, yeah, and then my wife, myself, and our son Mason. So we had a full house. We had people just everywhere. It was kind of a free for all. Figure yourself out. Poor people who are here. That not Corey, because Corey had the guest room. But Dakota and Big B, so Big B only stayed a couple days and then kind of transitioned out as others were transitioning in. But my son wakes up early, and he is not quiet. He does not care. He's almost 2 years old. In the morning, he is loud. And I have like a split level house, so it's not like a full basement. I'm in the basement right now, but we have like 4 levels because it's like a split level. It's kind of weird. But so there's like a downstairs, but it's still kind of open to the upstairs. And so when people are sleeping downstairs and they're not in the guest room, it is very loud. So Dakota can sleep like the dead, which is good. But Big B was definitely getting woken up by my son every morning at like 5:30, 6 o'clock. He's just down there dumping stuff out, running around, yelling. It is a wild experience. So Corey, I think could have slept through it. I don't think he would have heard much in the guest room, but Yeah, it was kind of a weird spot. I was kind of like, oh man, I'm happy to be back to the routine, but it was a really fun week. Um, Frankie, watch out for the stairs going up. Stairs, they'll get you. So Frankie, when I first bought this house, Frankie, were you here? I think you were here because I was getting furniture delivered, and I needed Frankie's help because I was not going to be able to be home. So Frankie house sat while they were coming to deliver furniture, and he apparently fell up my stairs. He threatened to sue me. He said, "I'm going to get Nicolay Law." Uh, and so I bribed him out that I would buy him legendaries or something. I think I just bought you legendaries because you're a house sitting, if I'm not mistaken. But my stairs are fine. Frankie just needs to learn to walk. But yeah, it was a ton of fun. It was there's just so like there's honestly on Saturday especially there's just so many people. Saturday was the busiest day. The weather was nice. There's just so many people. It's wild how many people there are. 200,000 people, 215,000 people in that size of an area may not seem like that much, but it was busy and it could get pretty congested as you're trying to go through, especially with a stroller on Saturday like we were. The other odd thing, maybe not odd, but the other thing that I never thought about when this was all going down is if you were outside the concourse, there was just companies that are handing free stuff out. Um, the Rock, his energy drink company, they were handing stuff out. Red Bull was walking around handing out Red Bulls. Uncle Mike's Kringle, there's cheese being handed out. Nicolay Law was handing out waters and a bunch of product. There's just stuff being handed out everywhere. So you could really, really pile up a lot of free stuff if you're just hanging out, walking around the area. So it was a ton of fun. I know I keep saying that, but really it was just I didn't know what to expect at all going to it. So it was just I don't know, just a really cool experience and one that I'm really happy I went to. I wish the weather would have cooperated a little bit more, but and then like I said, I got to meet Russell Nicolay finally, which was a really cool experience. I got to thank him for you know backing what I do and the support he gives. So I really can't thank him enough. Speaking of which, last call, I'm going to be doing this giveaway drawing. If you have not done so, you can enter there. If you've already entered, don't do it a second time. You can enjoy watching Kirby not win, like old times' sake. I will say I miss doing these lives every week, but I feel like if I'm just here by myself and there's nothing really football going on, I don't know that I can just talk for an hour about nothing. Um, but maybe I should. But I've been doing the podcasts. If you guys have been listening to those have been a lot of fun. We had Paul Kaufman on not long ago, Wes Hodkwich, which was really fun one. And then I have a few others coming up. Always looking for people to come on there. So if you got some Packer stories that you want to share, feel free to submit the entry form to come on there. Those have been a lot of fun to capture and kind of fire those back up. Tully, I know we want to do yours again, and then, or not again, but do yours. And then Corey, I know we want to do yours again. But when you're here, the microphones were a little weird. Oh, there he is. Tony, good to see you, man. I was just telling everyone how we had the opportunity to kind of hang out and how it was a ton of fun. So Tony, like I said, brought me a draft coin, which was super nice of him. I got it up in my collection with another city coin that I have. So thanks again, Tony. And then on Saturday, we all snuck in some snacks. I brought in those Australian bananas for Tony to try. And then Tony was generous enough to stop and get cheese curds, and he brought some venison meat, which was awesome. The cheese curds were great, and the venison was really good as well. It was a super cool experience just hanging out with everyone and finally getting a chance to meet Tony. Tony's super awesome, and I felt like he brought a lot of fun to our Friday of just hanging out together, and just kind of made for a good experience all around. Just getting someone new in there and getting to know someone new, so that was a lot of fun. Dakota says, do you think the draft and being there has made you feel more hyped for the season start or more of the same? Honestly, I think the draft made me feel like I should take my social media stuff maybe a bit more seriously. I don't know if I'll have the time, but since the draft, I've been thinking like, man, there's a lot of opportunities I have because I live here that I'm not capitalizing on them fully. Um, so I've been kind of mulling on that. I'm always kind of excited for the season, especially as it starts gearing up to like training camp time. Um, but I think more than anything, I was just like talking to people who are like, man, I really enjoy what you're doing online. I really enjoy the content you do. I really enjoy following you. I think that's really made me feel like I just want to do more. Which I'm sure some of it people are just being nice and introducing themselves and saying hi and um, it's just probably like the common thing to say. But I think a lot of people do genuinely enjoy stuff that I put out, which is really rewarding for me. So it makes me want to do that even more. Um, yeah, that was a lot of fun to just be like, oh, this is Tully, oh, this is Tony, and Sway Coda, and whatever. That was really cool. I might have snuck in some beef sticks. Yeah, I mean, dude, if they're not metal, you're fine. I mean, we brought in some stuff. It is what it is. If they didn't want you to bring it in, then maybe they should kind of like pat you down or do something. But I don't know what the guidelines were. It's not like I wasn't supporting businesses out there. I went to Rusty 2 days in a row. I had the pulled pork the one night, but I don't know. I feel like there's plenty. I feel like there is no money lost because we ate some venison sausage and some cheese curds. Yeah, Corey was getting interviewed by everyone. He's a celebrity there, Mr. Hollywood. Corey said, it's made me think about starting one, but not sure I'm willing or creative enough to keep it going. Yeah, Corey, I mean, I will say as someone who does it, it's super easy to kind of get bogged down. There's been a lot of things that I've done over the years of like, oh man, I'm making this project and it's going to do so well, and I'm putting a lot of time and effort into something, and I'm so excited about it, and then I release it and just crickets. Um, so that can be really hard, and it's such a hard thing to start, and it's such a hard thing to grow, and algorithms update, and then when the algorithm updates, your stuff changes a lot. In the last like year and a half, Facebook's updated their algorithm where it makes it really, really hard to like get posts to do well. I think they want more and more pages to actually pay to get distribution. Facebook's got a lot of issues. Facebook, I was kind of venting about this to some other people, but Facebook has some issues where I have a feed as my page itself. I don't have like friends or anything like that, but pages I follow show up on my feed, and a bunch of stuff that I don't shows up on my feed. Facebook really has this issue right now where they have a lot of like really bad AI content showing up, where it'll like show a picture of a AI picture of like Aaron Rodgers in a Detroit jersey, and it'll be like, breaking news, Aaron Rodgers signed to Detroit for $10 million, saying I'm going to bring this city a Super Bowl or something like that. And thousands of people interact with it and not even look into it at all. And there are so many examples like that on Facebook that it's ridiculous. And it's super frustrating that myself and like a lot of people I know that I actually follow do everything they can to like get away from like even coming close to posting something that is not correct. But these pages like do this stupid, and it's constant. It's constant like AI garbage. Or the other thing I've seen is like a picture of Barry Sanders. I saw this not long ago. It's like Barry Sanders, and it's like breaking news: Barry Sanders finally inducted into the Hall of Fame. Barry Sanders was inducted into the Hall of Fame like 20 years ago. But then it's full of people going like, "Oh, congratulations, well deserved, about time, blah 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 blah," and it's like the misinformation and like just blatant crap that gets spread around there, and then like myself and some other creators that actually put in time to like do stuff gets no traction. It's just so frustrating. But I say all that to say like it's tough. Social media it's a head game, man. It's posts you think won't do well, do well. Posts you think will, won't, and it's a mess. Bailey said, "Thanks for hand delivering our print." Yes, it was so good to see you guys. Have you guys started talking to a realtor yet? I need Corey to move here so we can hang out, play video games, and get Legend Larry's together, and with you, of course, Bailey. Yeah, Chad was on one with that, like GoPro. And that was the other thing with security is like every day it felt like rules were kind of being changed. Corey came with GoPro handle one day, the next day they tried telling him it's not allowed, all that stuff, and it's just like, what are we doing here? I don't know. Tony, we supported the pro shop on Friday when it was raining and bought dry socks. You guys did. Dakota and I definitely suffered through that. I'm the same with you, Janelle. I block any page that I see doing that stuff. It's super, super irritating. I wish Facebook would crack down on that. The other thing that I see a lot is the pages that are pretending to be players that interact with a lot of people. I know on my page, I'm always trying to be mindful of like blocking those things immediately. I'm not always the greatest at like replying in all my comments. I'm trying to get better at that, but I also am trying to make sure that all spam stays out because that stuff's super frustrating. People will believe anything. Yeah, I mean, really. I made a post a while back about the fake player pages and to stay away from them and that they're not real. Players are not on Facebook interacting with people like that. And someone's like, "Oh yeah, a fake Aaron Jones page reached out to me, and I sent them money because I thought it was the real Aaron Jones." And she's like, "It wasn't a lot of money, but I learned my lesson pretty quick." And that's what they're doing it for. They're preying on people. So it's tough because the internet's. I grew up with the internet, so I'm very well aware of all the scams and all the fraud and all the stuff like that. But to people who maybe didn't grow up with the internet, it makes it for some scary times and some wild times. The AI is really wild. They have a hard time kind of deciphering what's AI, what's not. I genuinely think that anything that you see on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or wherever you see it, kind of just assume that it's not real. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Or if you're like, oh, it could be, I guess your sources, right? You like, hey, if Aaron Nagler posts this, odds are it's a good, reliable source. But if it's some random scam group or something like that, take it with a grain of salt. Yeah, no, I'm just kidding anyway, Bailey. I'm not certainly not expecting you to pick up the phone tomorrow, but I do need you guys to move here. So that way Corey and I can go get some legendaries a lot. All right, cool. Speaking of Nikolai Law and finally getting a chance to meet the man, the myth, the legend, let's draw a winner for this giveaway here. Before I do, this overlay is outdated because Legendaries is no longer a sponsor for the off season, so I'll go back to this one. I do want to say before I do any giveaway, I do want to say thank you to Nikolai Law for sponsoring basically all my content all year long. I really wouldn't be able to do a lot of stuff without Nikolai Law, so I appreciate them immensely. If you do find yourself getting injured and you do need an attorney, get Nikolai. They will treat you well. It was super cool just seeing Russell hanging out, chit chatting with people, taking pictures, giving out some free stuff, and just I don't know. He's a Green Bay alumni. He's just just chill dude, good vibes. I really like that about him. All right, let's see. I gotta pull up this Google Forms. Of course, I exited out as I was doing something else, so bear with me here. Holy cow, that is bright. All right, let's do this here. Pulling up the list now. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was I don't know about you guys, but I was kind of surprised that they didn't really draft any cornerbacks. Maybe the board didn't really fall for it. But that kind of surprised me. Just take a look at the list here quick. That kind of surprised me that they didn't do that. And then Also, is a little surprising that that they took receivers in their first round and third round pick. That really surprised me as well. All right, so let's. Oh, don't even get my hopes up, Bailey. Corey's applying to jobs as we speak. Don't even get my hopes up. All right, I think you guys should be able to see that. Let's draw this. Good luck to everyone. Here we go. Who do we got today? It's gonna be close. Alfonso sniping it. All right, congratulations, Alfonso. Let's see what you got here. Alfonso, you have won yourself a Willie Davis signed 8x10. Congratulations. I'll get that out to you this week because I have some other stuff to ship out. We're back to Kirby getting putting on more L's as always. Maybe Kirby, maybe one of these days, man. I have faith in you. Not a ton of faith, but I have some faith in you. Tony says, I think one giveaway should be the Australian Packer flakes. Yeah, I don't know where Corey got those. Corey got me one. I have one. So when Corey was on his way here, I was like, I'm gonna put up that Australian flake in his room so he feels at home. So I have it right now. It's hanging in my guest room. Just like, if you you want to feel at home. And he's like, oh, I brought mine as well. So Chad says, if you would have told me before last weekend, I would have met Jared Kramer before Wade. I would have said you're lying. Dude, that is the funniest thing. So Wade was supposed to join us, which if you guys have been following me for a while, you probably heard of Wade or know of Wade. Wade used to be my roommate. Him and I go way back. We became friends on Twitter way back in the day. Would hang out at training camps a lot. And then when he graduated college, he got a job in Green Bay. At the time, I was single and I had an apartment. I had a 2-bedroom apartment, and I was like, "Hey, man, if you want to move in, I got space." So he moved in with me. I started dating my now wife around the same time, and all of us kind of we ended up all living together and becoming really good friends. Like it's still, he's known as Uncle Wade to my son, and Wade's in the past has been on podcasts. He's, I used to do some like Madden shows. He's been in that. We've done a lot of stuff together on this page. And Wade was supposed to join us Thursday night and Friday night. Thursday night, he got locked out for a little bit. So he wasn't able to get in. And then he watched it in the bowl overflow. And then he ended up going back to his truck after the Packers picked. I think he had some work that he was trying to get done. And so Chad didn't get to see him then. And I was like, oh, he's going to be here tomorrow. You'll get to meet him. Well, Friday, his girlfriend was with him, and he was poking around a bit, showing her stuff around town. And she had, I think this is only like second time coming to Green Bay. So he was showing her around, and we just never linked up. And so I think Chad doesn't believe that Wade exists. I know we joked about if you would have been able to join us tonight, because he's actually staying at our house tonight. I know we joked that we're going to pretend that he was a hologram, but he's not going to get in until late tonight. So that's pretty funny. I think Corey met Wade. Corey can confirm that that Wade exists. I think Dakota met him. Maybe we can confirm that. But yeah, I don't know that. Oh, almost knocked that over. I don't know that I have a ton else to share or talk about. I probably could ramble and hang out all night. But yeah, it was such a fun time. I want to say thank you to everyone that I met, everyone that I got to hang out with. From the Tullys to Sway Coda to Tony, Corey from coming all the way from Australia, of course. My friend Tom, everyone that was here. I'm gonna probably forget someone. Big B, everyone. It was such a magical time. Got to see Iowa Joe as we're walking out one night. So I said what's up to him. It was just it was such a cool thing, and I'm still kind of riding high. Yeah, Dalton's the man. Go check him out if you guys don't follow him. The Northern Nerd. He posts some like pretty wholesome, family friendly content. He's a second grade teacher. He does like a Packer spelling bee with his students during the regular season, and if they get all the words right, they win Packers tickets for a game, which is really cool. It was such a cool time. It's gonna be something that I remember forever, and I'm so thankful that I had the opportunity. Shout out to my wife for watching our son on Thursday and Friday, so I could go down there both days and hang out all day. So appreciate you guys hanging out. Appreciate you interacting and all the support you guys give all the time. I really appreciate it. It's always good sitting here and chat with you guys. I can't wait for these live shows to get back up, but it's going to be a little bit, obviously, probably closer to the season. I don't know exactly when, but it'll be here before you know it. Until then, next Tuesday we'll be dropping the podcast again and doing that going forward until we get a little bit closer to the season and there's more to talk about. So thank you guys. I hope you have a good week. I hope to talk to you guys on the pages, and yeah, we'll talk to you guys soon. Have a good week and go Pack Go.